Shri Gurubhyo Namaha children, you are welcome for online class. I hope you are all happy and leading a nice safe life children. Okay, we will go for grammar learning today. Okay, I want to ask you a question. Prose, poem and supplementary and grammar, which one you like children? Now I can hear that you will be saying that grammar part is little tough for you. Yeah. So it is like maths children, you have to work it out and always regularly you have to practice, then only you will get grammar part is like that. Prose, poem and non-detail you can learn and you can mug up and you can write it, or you can write on your own if you are knowing the story. So it depend upon, but grammar is not like that. So today we are going to see modals. Before that I want to brush your thing children. You know auxiliaries, helping verbs. First you know all parts of speech. 8 parts of speech is there, and in that verb will be having auxiliaries. This is different thing. 8 parts of speeches are there: noun, pronoun, verb, adjective, adverb, preposition, conjunction and interjection. In verb you have main verbs and you have the helping verbs. So here we are going to talk today about helping verbs. What is this helping verbs? Helping verbs are nothing but auxiliaries. Helping verbs are nothing but auxiliaries. Okay, what is this auxiliaries? In auxiliaries how many things are there? So we will say primary auxiliaries and modal auxiliaries, semi-modal auxiliaries. So we can separate into 3. What is this auxiliaries? Helping verbs. What is helping verbs? For example, Sita is writing a letter. Is your writing is a continuous thing. So here when you are writing that verb writing, in front something is coming to help you, that is, was, or, were. This all called as be forms, and we call be forms means is, was, or, were, and as forms we have as, have, had. And if you go for do forms, that is nothing but do, does, did. So this is, we in negatives don't, didn't we will be having. So the same way these are called as primary auxiliaries. And modal auxiliaries are 9. What is this modal auxiliaries? You know that you can easily keep in your mind. What is that? You can make it shall, should, may, might, can, could, will, would and must. These 9 are modal auxiliaries. Again I will tell you: shall, should, will, would, may, might, can, could and must. These 9 things are called as modals, and semi-modals are, you can keep shortly in your mind, undo, U-N-D-O, undo, U for used to, N for need, D for dare, O for ought to. So undo is here called as, in short form, used to, need, dare, ought to. So these are called as undo semi-modals. So here we learnt in this class primary auxiliaries. Primary auxiliaries, be forms. Be forms are is, was, or, were. These 4 are called be forms, and as forms are has, have and add. So these are as forms, and do forms are do, does and did. So here do, does and did, these are called as do forms. And you having be for being, been, so you have be. So these are also be forms. This also comes under be forms. It is clear to you, it is all called as, all together, is, was, or, were, as, have, had, do, does, did, been, be. So these are all together called as primary auxiliaries. These all together called as primary auxiliaries. It is clear to you children? And the same way modals, you have shall, should, may, might, will, would can, could and must. So these 9 are called as modals, and semimodals used to need, dare and ought to. So you can keep undo. You can keep in your mind undo, U-N-D-O, undo. Okay children, it is very clear to you, you understood this, we will go in deep to the thing. Okay, we are going to see modals. What all modals? We have 8 modals, will you tell what is that? 9 together? Must, then can, could, shall, should, will, would, may, might. This 8 plus 1 must, 9 is called as modals. So, clear children? Can, could, may, might, will, would and shall, should and must are modals. Okay. What is the modals? What is modals? So, modal, M-O-D-E-L, model means a person who gives as a role model or acts in something as a model. So, you will be calling as model. And here what is a modal? It is a grammar function. A modal is a type of auxiliaries. What is auxiliaries? Auxiliary is helping verb that is used to express ability, possibility, permission or obligation. So, what is a modal? Modal is a helping word and it will be expressing your ability, possibility, permission or obligation. Modal phrases are called as semimodels. Modal phrases are called as semimodels, are used to express the same thing as modals but are the combination of auxiliary verbs and the preposition too. So, here modals will be having no infinities, two will not be there or no preposition will be there. When preposition is added, it is called as modal semimodals, and semimodals are nothing but we call them as phrase modals. Express the same thing as a modals but are the combination of auxiliary verbs and the preposition too. So, here you can say I can sing, Bob can sing, I found out they can sing. So, here will you identify which is the modal? So, here in this place can is the modal, here can is the modal, here can is the modal. In the question also, can you guess the modal in the above sentence? Can is asked as a question, as a can modal is asked as a question. So, here it is clear what is modal children? Modal is an helping verb, auxiliary, and it will show possibility, ability, permission or obligation. So, it is clear to you? We will go to the next. Okay, what is the rule for this auxiliaries? Rules for modals are used to indicate likelihood, ability, advice, permission, habits and obligation. So, here they are modals are used to indicate likelihood, ability, advice, permission, habits and obligation. Add not after the verb is used to make a verb negative. So, add not after the verb is used to make a verb negative. So, here with cannot, can means cannot, could means couldn't. Then you have shan't, shall means shan't, will means won't. Like that with the not with the modals is called as negatives. So, verb negatives are you will be using add not after the verb. So, you will be adding not after the verb. Can, cannot, could, couldn't. So, like that you will be adding not after the verb. Modal verbs are come before the subject in questions. So, here modal verbs come before the subject in questions. It will be coming in the before question. So what like that will be asking, can you add have some tea? Could you please have a cup of coffee? So like that will be asking. So the can, could or shall or may or whatever it is in the question, it will be coming in the front. In negatives, not will be coming after. It is very clear, children? Okay. Modal verbs do not change form according to the tense. There is no s added to the verb. You know that if you go for verbs, there will be a change. For example, if you are going for simple present tense in the verb, we will be adding s or es with the verbs. But here with the modals, you will not add any s or es or ed or en, anything must not be added. It will be same for everything. So infinity is a verb without to or used right after the modal verb. So no to is used in the modals. In modals you will not use two verbs. Infinities will not be followed, but in main verbs you will be using infinities. For example, to go, to run, to eat, like that you will be using infinities. But here you will not use the infinities here. So it is clear, children? Okay. What are the types of modals? There are 9 types of modals. So I have given in a thing types of modals. 9 types of modals. What are they? Will, would, can, could, shall, should, may, might, must. So even you can sing and keep 9 things. Will, would, can, could, may, might, shall, should, must, or modals. You will be just making it 9 types. So these 9 types are, you can see that will, would, can, could, shall, should, may, might. Even you can keep it as a song. Will, would, may, might, can, could, shall, should, must, or modals. Okay, you can make it as a song and you can keep in mind what is the 9 types of modal verbs. It is clear, children? You learnt the 9 types of modal verbs and you will be using it. Okay. So you see can and could, where you will be using. First we have seen 9, we will go by 2. Can and could. Can is in present tense, could is in past tense. So the modal can and could are used to do things talking about, it will be talking about ability, asking permission, making request and so on. So you will be finding talking to about ability. So you will be talking about ability. I can lift the bag, or I can speak 4 languages, 10 languages. So your ability of yourself. And then asking permission, you will be asking permission, making request and so on. So you can see in this. So ability, I can speak 4 languages. And the ability in the past, he could play football when he was a kid. So you are talking about past tense. At the time you will be using could, and can in the present tense. Possibility, alcohol can cause cancer. So alcohol, if you consume alcohol, you will get cancer. So it causes cancer. So it is in present tense, some possibility. And here the possibility of could, a lot of crime could be prevented. If you are taking some steps, you can could prevent the lot of crimes. And here permission, can I use your book please? If you are asking can, you can ask, but the pleasant and polite way of asking is, could I take your book please? The polite way, if you are talking with the elders, you can't use can, you will be using could. Could I take your book please? So that is a polite way of asking. So children, I think that you understood can and could and the usage of it. So where you will be using? You will be using in the ability, possibility and permission and etc. Okay, we will move to the next. May and might. So here may and might. May and might are modal verbs that can have similar meaning, They can be used to describe 2 ideas. It can be used to give 2 ideas, describe 2 ideas. Possibility in the past, present or future, permission. So permission in the present or future, permission. A possibility in the past. So you will be using possibility. So possibility, use of may and might, possibility. It might rain later, so that take an umbrella. So it might rain later, rain later. So take an umbrella, you have to take an umbrella. Give permission, you may have another cookies if you like. So you are asking, give permission. You may have another cookie if you like. Ask for permission. May I borrow your pen please? May I borrow your pen please? So here again it is permission. Expresses wish. May the new year bring you happiness. speculate about past action. She is late. She may have missed her plane. So here there are may, for may you have permission and express wish. May the new year bring you happiness. And she is late. Here it is speculated about past action. She may have missed the plane. And the same if you go for may and might can normally be interchanged. You can interchange may and might normally we will be interchanged without a significant difference in the meaning. However, might often implies a smaller chance of something happening. So here for example, if you are using may, it may have 70% chance means you will be using may, and less chance means you will be using might. 40% of chance means you will be using might. When expression wish or giving permission, only may is used. It's clear to you children? May or might is given. May and might can normally be interchanged. You can interchange, there won't be a change in difference in the meaning without a significant difference in the meaning. However, might often implies a smaller chance. You are having a smaller chance often implies a smaller chance of something happening. When expressing possibility, it may rain. So here it has 70% of chance means you will be using may, 40% of chance means you will be using might. When expressing wishes or giving permission, you will be using only may. So it is clear with may and might children. So you learnt can and could, learnt may and might. We will go to the next. Okay, shall and should. What is shall and should? The word shall is used, the word shall is used to express ideas related to the specific rules of or laws. So when it is a specific rules or law, then you will be using shall and should. Be careful not to confuse it with must. You must not confuse with must. Should is something and must is different. So you must not confuse. The word shall always is used in the future tense. Shall is used in the future tense and speak about something that will happen or exist. So shall is future tense, it will be talk, and the verb should is used to indicate obligation, duty or correctness. Often when criticizing someone's action, we can use it when expressing a personal opinion in plain language. In other words, we want to advise someone. So where you will be using should children? It indicates obligation, duty or correctness. Often when criticizing someone's action, when you are criticizing someone's action, you will be using should. We can use it when expressing personal opinion. So when you are using personal opinion also in plain language, you will be using. In other words, we want to advise someone. Suppose if you want to advise someone, then we will be using should. It is clear? And see here, shall and should. Make a suggestion. If you make a suggestion, shall we dance? Shall I go now? Shall we go to cinema tonight? So this is all the suggestion you are making. Shall is used first person pronoun. It is used as a first person pronoun. And should I call a doctor? So it is needed. You should see the doctor. You should see the doctor. It is necessary for him. So in that condition, you will be using should. So till this you learned can, could, will, would and shall, may, might and shall, should. We will go for will, would. Okay, will, would. We use will to express belief about the present or future. Something your belief future and present, you will be using will. We use would as the past of will to describe past beliefs about the future. So here will, would, modals, will, would, will, won't plus base form of the verb. John will pick you up at 7 a.m. Bethon won't be happy with the result of the exam. Polite request or statement, you will be using will plus would plus base form of the verb. Will you please take the trash out? Would you mind if I sit here? I would like to sign up for your workshop. So here this all the things we will be using for will and would. It is clear children. We will go for the next must. The last one of the modal, must. The modal verb must is used to express obligation and necessity. Usage must. Expressing a necessity felt by the speaker, present or future. He is very ill. You must call a doctor now. We must not or mustn't lose the match tomorrow or we will be out of the tournament. So it is very essential, expressing the necessity, you will be using must. You have to work hard, you must work hard, otherwise you will fail. So we can say that is necessary there, so we are using this. This is the best book I have ever read, you must read too. You mustn't hesitate to call me if you need help. So this all the things which is for must. Okay. So I said the 4 semimodals. Semimodals, a verb that functions to some extent like a modal verb, typically in the way it forms negative and interrogative construction. They are otherwise called as, so the other name for the semimodals are marginal or quasic modals. They are called as marginals or quasic modals or semimodals. They are used to, need, dare or to. So here why it is semi. So sometimes when it is not a verb, main verb, and it acts as an auxiliary verb, so we call it semi. No, you would have learnt in chemistry semi-solid like that. That means it will not be solid, it will not be liquid. So in between it is, then it is called a semi-solid. The same way it is semi-modal because it will be acted as a verb, main verb sometimes, and it will be acting as a auxiliary verbs, helping verb. So it is called as semi-modal. So the other name for it is marginal or quasic modals. The 4 things are used to, need, dare and ought to. In short you can call as undo. Dare. Dare means have the courage to do something and can behave either as a modal verb or as a main verb. As a modal verb, dare is used in the negative and interrogative sentence. It is followed by a bare infinitive. Example, I daren't think how many victims there are. So here dare means have the courage to do something. Dare means have the courage to do something and can behave either as a modal verb or as a main verb. It acts as a main verb or a modal verb. As a modal verb, dare is used in negative and interrogative sentence. It is followed by a bare infinitive. I daren't think how many victims there are. So the same way used to. Used to describe an activity or a state that happened many times in the past. So sometimes your grandparents and others will be taking, I used to walk, I used to swim in my early age, now it is not possible. I used to climb trees, but it is not possible now. So here in the past, if you recollecting and telling, you will be using used to. I used to enjoy gardening, but I don't have time for it now. So it is clear, children. We will go for the next. So the next, need and ought to. Need is a semi-modal verb because in some ways it is like a modal verb and in other ways like a main verb. We use need mostly in the negative forms to indicate that there is no obligation or necessity to do something. Example, you needn't take off your shoes. So how to? Ought to is express ideas such as duty, necessity and moral obligations. It is not as forceful as must, but it is stronger than should. So here you can see that ought express ideas such as duty, necessity and moral obligation. It is not as forceful as must. So it is must is forceful if you are using, but it is stronger than should. So here you will be getting confused in using must, should and ought to. So must is when it is compulsory, when it is forceful. For example, if a child is going to fail, the last minute teacher will be calling, if you must work hard, otherwise you will be failed. So they will be saying, isn't it? In that case, it is a forceful and it is necessary, and necessity to do something is used for must. But it is stronger than should. That means must next is when you are using semi-modals, you will be using ought to. And next then ought to, should. So here must is the topmost, forceful or necessity. Next is should, and if you are semi-modals, if you are using, you will be using ought to. It is clear, children, there is no confusion in using. So when it is necessary and it is forceful, then you will be using must. Must is very high, and second place you can give for should in the modals, and in semi-modals you will not use must and should, so you will be using oughtful. It is clear to you? Okay. Okay, children, I think we will recollect what all the 9 modals you learnt. They are like 9 modals are can, could, shall, should, will, would and may, might and must. 9 you learnt, and 4 semi-modals you learnt, and 3 strong modals are there, should and ought to and must. Must is very forceful. First preference you have to give for, if it is any necessity, then you have to give for must. Then you will be just any obligation, moral duties like that, means you will be using should. And in the third you will be using ought to, and this ought to you will be using in semi-modals, not in modals. It is very clear, children. I think you will be using properly. In other class we will go for the exercise and practice. Thank you, children. We will see you in the next class.